The unexpected encounter. The vast expanse of space was both a refuge and a frontier for humanity. After centuries of exploration, the Sol Coalition had finally established itself as a force to be reckoned with. Human ingenuity had led to the development of faster-than-light travel, powerful starships, and colonies on distant worlds. Yet, despite their achievements, they had remained largely isolated in the galaxy. That is, until the day the Helios and Vanguard stumbled upon the Galactic Empire. Captain Naomi Kane of the Helios was a seasoned officer known for her tactical brilliance and unyielding resolve. She stood on the bridge of her ship, her eyes scanning the stars, as if expecting something to emerge from the void. Her crew, a mix of experienced veterans and eager recruits, trusted her implicitly. They were on a routine patrol mission in the unexplored regions of the galaxy when their sensors picked up an anomaly. "Captain, we're detecting a large fleet approaching our position," said Lieutenant Marcus Hale, the ship's communications officer. His voice was calm, but there was an underlying tension that everyone on the bridge could feel. "Can you identify them?" Naomi asked, her gaze fixed on the holographic display in front of her. "Not yet, ma'am. They're using some kind of jamming technology." "I can't get a clear reading," Marcus replied, his fingers dancing across his console as he tried to break through the interference. Now he frowned. This was unusual. Humanity had encountered other species before, but none had ever posed a significant threat. Most were either too primitive or too peaceful to challenge them. But this felt different. "Prepare for first contact. Raise shields and power up the weapon systems. I won't be ready for anything," Naomi ordered. The crew moved with practiced efficiency, each person knowing exactly what to do. As the unknown fleet drew closer, the tension on the Helios grew. Then, without warning, a transmission came through. The image on the screen was of a tall, regal-looking alien with pale blue skin and eyes that glowed like molten silver. He wore ornate armor that gleamed under the ship's lights, and his expression was one of contemptuous superiority. "This is Admiral Thaler of the Galactic Empire. You are trespassing in Imperial space. Surrender your vessels immediately or be destroyed," the alien declared, his voice cold and authoritative. Naomi raised an eyebrow. "Galactic Empire. I wasn't aware we were in anyone's territory," she said, her tone deliberately casual. "You are in the presence of the most powerful civilization in the galaxy, human. Your ignorance will not save you," Thaler sneered. Naomi exchanged a glance with Commander Aiden Reyes, her second in command. He gave a slight nod, understanding her unspoken command. They had dealt with arrogant aliens before, but something about this so-called empire felt different. Dangerous. "We are explorers, not invaders. We mean no harm and have no intention of surrendering," Naomi replied evenly. "But if you wish to discuss this further, we're open to negotiations." Thaler's eyes narrowed. "You dare to defy the Empire? Very well, human. You will learn the price of your insolence." The transmission cut off abruptly, and the alien fleet began to move into attack formation. Naomi wasted no time. "All hands to battle stations. Prepare to engage." The Helios and Vanguard sprang into action, their crews ready for the fight of their lives. The Galactic Empire may have been powerful, but humanity had a knack for defying the odds. As the first salvo of energy blasts streaked toward them, Naomi couldn't help but feel a surge of adrenaline. They were outnumbered, outgunned, and facing an enemy they knew nothing about. But that was just the way she liked it. The battle begins. The clash between the human ships and the Galactic Empire's fleet was nothing short of spectacular. The void of space lit up with the brilliant flashes of energy weapons, and the thunderous booms of exploding ships reverberated through the hulls of the Helios and Vanguard. Despite their technological prowess, the human ships were heavily outnumbered, and the Empire's vessels were unlike anything they had ever encountered. "Helm, evasive maneuvers," Naomi shouted, gripping the edge of her command console as the Helios dodged a barrage of plasma bolts. The ship shook violently, but her crew held their ground, focused on the task at hand. Commander Rees worked swiftly at his station, coordinating with the Vanguard and analyzing the enemy's tactics. "Their formation is tight, but they're not adapting to our maneuvers. We might be able to exploit that," he said, his voice steady despite the chaos around him. Naomi nodded. Agreed. Let's see if we can outmaneuver them. All units follow my lead. We're going to punch a hole through their lines. The Helios and Vanguard accelerated, their engines roaring as they weaved through the Imperial fleet. The enemy ships tried to track them, but the human vessels were too agile, darting in and out of the formation like predators stalking their prey. As the battle raged on, the Vanguard took a direct hit to its aft section, causing a massive explosion that sent debris flying in all directions. Vanguard's been hit. They're losing power, Marcus reported, his voice tinged with urgency. Get them out of there, Naomi ordered. Cover their retreat. The Helios positioned itself between the Vanguard and the advancing enemy ships, its weapons blazing as it unleashed a torrent of firepower. The Imperial ships were relentless, but Naomi's crew fought back with everything they had. Despite the odds, they managed to hold the line, buying the Vanguard enough time to escape. But the battle was far from over. The Imperial fleet was vast, and more ships were closing in on their position. Naomi knew they couldn't keep this up forever. They needed a plan, and fast. Commander Reyes, any ideas? She asked, her mind racing as she considered their options. Reyes studied the tactical display, his eyes narrowing as he calculated the risks. We could try to lure them into the asteroid field nearby. It's dense enough to give us some cover, and we might be able to use the terrain to our advantage. Naomi considered it for a moment. It was risky, but their current situation was dire. Do it. Helm, set course for the asteroid field. All ships, fall back and regroup on my mark. The Helios and Vanguard changed course, heading toward the asteroid field with the Imperial fleet in hot pursuit. The asteroids loomed ahead, massive and foreboding, but they offered the only chance of survival. As they entered the field, the human ships weaved through the tumbling rocks, using them as cover while they continued to fire at the pursuing enemy. The Imperial ships hesitated, their formations breaking apart as they tried to navigate the treacherous terrain. Naomi seized the opportunity. Now, hit them with everything we've got. The human ships unleashed a devastating barrage, targeting the Imperial vessels as they struggled to avoid the asteroids. Several enemy ships were destroyed in quick succession, their wreckage joining the floating debris in the field. But the battle was taking its toll on the humans as well. The Helios had sustained heavy damage, and its shields were failing. Naomi knew they couldn't keep this up much longer. Reyes, how's the Vanguard holding up? She asked, her voice tight with concern. They're stable for now, but they won't last if we don't get out of here soon, Reyes replied grimly. Naomi made a quick decision. Prepare for a hyperspace jump. We need to get out of this system and regroup. Set coordinates for the nearest starbase. The crew worked quickly, inputting the coordinates and charging the hyperspace drive. The Imperial fleet was still closing in, but the asteroids were slowing them down. Jump in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, engage, Naomi ordered. The Helios and Vanguard surged forward, the stars around them blurring as they entered hyperspace. The Galactic Empire's fleet vanished from their sensors, left behind in the asteroid field. As the ships sped away to safety, Naomi allowed herself a moment of relief. They had survived the first encounter, but she knew this was only the beginning. The Galactic Empire was a formidable foe, and they would not take this defeat lightly. But humanity had faced impossible odds before, and if the Empire thought they could conquer the human race, they were in for a rude awakening. A new alliance. The journey through hyperspace was tense but uneventful. The Helios and Vanguard emerged near the Sol Coalition's starbase in the Hades system, a heavily fortified outpost on the edge of human-controlled space. As the ship docked, Naomi took a deep breath, feeling the weight of their recent battle still heavy on her shoulders. Captain Kane, welcome back. Admiral Jonathan Drake's voice crackled over the comms. He was a grizzled veteran of countless campaigns, and his presence always brought a sense of stability in uncertain times. Thank you, Admiral. We've encountered a significant threat, a galactic empire that appears to control a vast portion of the galaxy. We managed to escape, but they won't be far behind, Naomi reported, her tone grim. Admiral Drake's expression hardened. This is troubling news. We've had rumors of other powerful civilizations out there, but nothing concrete. Now that we know what we're up against, we need to prepare for the worst, Admiral Drake said, his voice filled with resolve. We'll debrief you and your crew immediately. Head to the war room as soon as you can. Naomi acknowledged the order and turned to her crew. You've done an incredible job out there. Get some rest and be ready. This isn't over yet. As she left the bridge, Naomi couldn't shake the feeling that the encounter with the Galactic Empire was only the tip of the iceberg. The Sol Coalition had always been confident in its technological superiority, but the Empire's fleet had been massive, well-coordinated, and most concerning of all, seemingly unconcerned with the destruction of their ships. It fought with an arrogance that suggested they were used to winning and crushing any opposition. The war room was a stark contrast to the bridge. Here, the air was filled with the hum of discussions, tactical displays flickering with data, and the scent of coffee lingering in the air. Admiral Drake stood at the center, flanked by other high-ranking officers, all of whom turned to Naomi as she entered. Captain Kane, report, Admiral Drake commanded. Naomi stepped forward and began her report, detailing the encounter with the Galactic Empire's fleet, the battle in the asteroid field, and the escape through hyperspace. The room was silent as she spoke, the gravity of the situation settling over everyone like a heavy shroud. When she finished, Admiral Drake nodded thoughtfully. It seems we have a new challenge ahead of us, but we're not going to face it alone. We've been in contact with several other species, minor powers in the galaxy, who have also had run-ins with this so-called empire. None of them have the strength to stand against the empire alone, but together we might stand a chance. Naomi's interest was piqued. You're proposing an alliance? Exactly, Drake confirmed. We've already initiated contact with the Zenari Collective and the Valteri Republic. Both have suffered under the Empire's expansionist policies, and they're eager to fight back. They need a leader, someone with the strength and experience to unite them against this common enemy. And that leader is going to be humanity. Naomi felt a surge of pride. Humanity, once considered an upstart race, was now being looked to as the leader in a galactic struggle for survival. What's our next move, Admiral? Your task, Captain Kane, is to lead a delegation to the Zenari homeworld. You'll meet with their leadership, solidify the alliance, and ensure they understand the stakes. From there, you'll move on to the Valteri and do the same. We're going to build a coalition that can stand against the Empire, and you're the key to making that happen. Naomi's mind raced with the implications. Diplomacy wasn't her strongest suit. She was a soldier, not a politician. But she understood the importance of this mission. The future of humanity, and perhaps the galaxy itself, hinged on the success of this alliance. Understood, sir. I'll leave immediately, Naomi replied, her voice steady despite the weight of the responsibility. One more thing, Captain, Admiral Drake added, his tone softening slightly. The Galactic Empire is vast and powerful, but they're also arrogant. They underestimate us. Use that to your advantage. Naomi nodded, understanding the unspoken message. Humanity's strength had always been its ability to adapt, to think outside the box, and to turn the tables on those who underestimated them. The Empire might have numbers and technology on their side, but humanity had something far more valuable, the will to fight for their freedom. As she left the war room, Naomi's thoughts turned to the upcoming mission. She would need to navigate the delicate balance of diplomacy, forge alliances with species that might not fully trust humanity, and prepare for a war unlike any they had ever faced. But she wasn't afraid. Humanity had come this far by facing challenges head-on, and this would be no different. The Galactic Empire might think they were invincible, but they had never faced an opponent like humanity. Naomi returned to the Helios, where her crew was already preparing for the next phase of their journey. The ship had been repaired and resupplied, and the crew's spirits were high despite the looming threat. Commander Reyes, I hope you're ready for a bit of diplomacy, Naomi said as she entered the bridge. Reyes grinned. Diplomacy with a side of starship battles sounds like a bit time to me. Naomi chuckled. Let's hope it doesn't come to that, but knowing our luck, it probably will. Set course for the Zenari homeworld. We've got an alliance to forge. The Helios powered up its engines, and soon they were once again hurtling through the stars. Naomi stood at the front of the bridge, her eyes fixed on the vast expanse of space before them. The task ahead was daunting, but she knew her crew was up to the challenge. As they approached the Zenari system, Naomi reflected on how far humanity had come. They had started as a single species on a small planet in an unremarkable solar system, and now they were on the brink of leading a galactic coalition against a seemingly unstoppable empire. The future was uncertain, but one thing was clear. Humanity was no longer just a species exploring the stars. They were becoming something far greater, a force that could shape the destiny of the galaxy. And if the Galactic Empire thought they could stop them with threats and intimidation, they were about to learn just how wrong they were. The diplomatic gamble. The Zenari homeworld, Nalos, was a sight to behold. It was a planet of breathtaking natural beauty, with vast forests, towering mountain ranges, and crystal-clear oceans. The Zenari themselves were a tall, graceful species with skin that shimmered in shades of green and gold. Their cities were marvels of architecture, blending seamlessly with the natural environment, and their technology, though not as advanced as the Galactic Empire's, was still impressive. As the Helios descended into the atmosphere, Naomi felt a mixture of awe and trepidation. This was a crucial moment. If the Zenari agreed to the alliance, it would set the tone for the rest of the galaxy. If they refused, the consequences could be dire. The ship landed on a designated platform near the Zenari capital, and Naomi, accompanied by Commander Reis, and a small delegation disembarked. They were greeted by a group of Zenari officials, their expressions unreadable. "Welcome to Nalos, Captain Kane," said the Zenari representative, a tall, elegant figure named Talarin. His voice was soft, almost musical, but there was an underlying strength in his tone. "We have heard much about humanity. We are eager to hear your proposal." Naomi inclined her head in respect. "Thank you for receiving us, Representative Talarin. We come with a message of unity and hope. The Galactic Empire poses a threat, not just to humanity, but to all free species in the galaxy. We believe that by standing together, we can resist their tyranny and ensure the survival of our civilizations." Talarin regarded her with a thoughtful expression. "The Empire is indeed a formidable foe. They have crushed many who oppose them, and their reach extends far across the stars. But why should we trust humanity? You are a young species, untested in the grand scale of galactic politics." Naomi had expected this question. "We may be young, but we have faced challenges that have tested our resolve and ingenuity. We have survived wars, natural disasters, and internal strife. Each time, we have emerged stronger. We do not seek to dominate, we seek to protect. We offer our strength, our technology, and our commitment to freedom in exchange for your support." Talarin remained silent for a moment, his eyes searching Naomi's face. "The Zenari value peace above all else. We have avoided conflict for centuries, choosing instead to focus on the betterment of our society. But the Empire threatens to take that away from us. We are not warriors, Captain Kane. We do not have the same fire that burns within your people." Naomi stepped forward, her voice firm but compassionate. "I understand your hesitation, but the Empire will not stop with humanity. They will come for Nalos, and when they do, your peace will be shattered. You may not be warriors, but you are intelligent, resourceful, and proud. Those qualities can be just as powerful as any weapon." Talarin looked at his fellow officials, who nodded in agreement. He turned back to Naomi, his expression resolute. "You make a compelling argument, Captain Kane. The Zenari will join your alliance. We will contribute what we can to the cause, and we will stand with you against the Empire." Naomi felt a wave of relief wash over her. The first step had been taken, and it was a success. "Thank you, Representative Talarin. Together, we will ensure that the galaxy remains a place of freedom and peace." The delegation from the Helios spent the next few days on Nalos, finalizing the details of the alliance and learning more about the Zenari culture. Naomi found herself growing fond of the Zenari people. They were peaceful, yes, but they were also deeply passionate about their world and their way of life. She could see why they were hesitant to join a fight, but she was also confident that they would prove to be valuable allies. As the preparations were completed, the Helios prepared to depart for the Valteri Republic, the next potential ally in the growing coalition. The Zaneri had provided them with information about the Valteri, an industrious, technologically advanced species known for their expertise in starship engineering. They had also been under the Empire's thumb for years, and it was hoped that they would be eager to break free. Naomi stood on the bridge of the Helios, looking out at the stars as the ship left Nalos behind. The alliance was beginning to take shape, but she knew the hardest part was still to come. Convincing the Valteri to join them would be a challenge, especially given their history of subjugation. They might be wary of putting their trust in an alliance led by humanity. But Naomi was determined. She had seen what the Empire was capable of, and she would do whatever it took to protect her people and their allies. The future of the galaxy depended on it. As the Helios entered hyperspace, Naomi allowed herself a moment of reflection. The road ahead was fraught with danger, but it was also filled with opportunity. Humanity had the chance to not only survive, but to lead a movement that could change the course of history. And if the Galactic Empire thought they could crush humanity with sheer force, they were in for a rude awakening, because humanity was ready, and they were not alone. The final stand. The Valteri Republic was a stark contrast to the serene beauty of Nalos. Their homeworld, Makara, was a planet of industry and progress, its surface covered with massive cities, factories, and shipyards. The Valteri themselves were a pragmatic and efficient species, their culture centered around innovation and technological advancement. As the Helios approached Makara, Naomi couldn't help but feel a sense of anticipation. The Valteri were known for their prowess in starship design, and their support would be crucial in the upcoming war against the Empire. But she also knew that the Valteri were a proud people, and convincing them to join the alliance would not be easy. The ship docked at a massive orbital station, and Naomi, along with her delegation, was escorted to the Valteri Leadership Council. The council chamber was a vast, high-tech space, with holographic displays and advanced communication systems that made it clear the Valteri were a species that valued efficiency and precision. Captain Kane of the Sol Coalition, a voice announced as Naomi and her team entered the chamber. The Valteri Council members, a group of stern-looking individuals with sharp, angular features, turned their attention to her. "Welcome to Makara," said High Chancellor Velker, the leader of the Valteri Republic. His voice was deep and commanding, and his gaze was intense as he studied Naomi. "We have been informed of your proposal. You seek to form an alliance against the Galactic Empire. But tell me, Captain, why should we risk our people for your cause?" Naomi met his gaze evenly. "Chancellor Velker, I understand your concerns. The Empire has kept your people under its thumb for years, and the thought of open rebellion is daunting. But the Empire will not stop with humanity. It will continue to expand, to subjugate, until there is nothing left but their rule. We offer you a chance to fight back, to reclaim your freedom, and to stand with others who share your desire for independence." Velker's expression remained impassive. "You speak of freedom, but we'd have fought the Empire before, and we paid a heavy price. Many of our worlds were devastated, our fleets decimated. What makes you think this alliance will fare any better?" Naomi took a deep breath. This was the moment she'd been preparing for, because this time you won't be fighting alone. The Zaneri have already pledged their support, and we are reaching out to other species as well. Together, we have the strength to challenge the Empire. And humanity is not the same as when the Empire first encountered us. We have advanced, we have grown stronger, and we have something the Empire doesn't hope. For a moment, the chamber was silent. Velker studied her closely, waiting her words. Finally, he spoke. "Hope is a fragile thing, Captain Kane, but perhaps it is something we need more of. The Valteri Republic will join your alliance. We will contribute our technology, our ships, and our expertise. But know this, if we fall, we will fall together." Now he felt a surge of triumph. The alliance was growing stronger, and with the Valteri on their side, they would be a force to be reckoned with. "Thank you, Chancellor Velker. Together we will stand against the Empire and ensure a future where all species can live in peace." The next few days were spent finalizing the details of the alliance. The Valteri provided the Helios with upgrades to its systems, and Naomi was impressed by the efficiency and skill of their engineers. The alliance was beginning to take shape, and there was a growing sense of determination among the members. They were no longer isolated species facing a powerful enemy. They were a united front, ready to defend their freedom. As the Helios prepared to depart, Naomi received a transmission from Admiral Drake. "Captain Kane, we've received reports of increased Imperial activity in the sector. Seems the Empire is aware of our efforts to form an alliance, and they're moving to crush us before we can become a threat. You need to return to the Sol system immediately. We're preparing for a major engagement." Naomi's heart raced. The final confrontation was approaching, and the stakes had never been higher. "Understood, Admiral. We're on our way." The Helios left Makara, its crew focused and ready for the battle ahead. Naomi knew that the upcoming fight would be the ultimate test of the Alliance. If they could defeat the Empire here, it would be a turning point in the war. As they approached the Sol system, the scale of the impending battle became clear. The Imperial fleet was massive, stretching across the void like a dark wave of destruction. The Alliance fleet, now bolstered by the Valtari and Zenari ships, was formidable in its own right. "All ships, prepare for battle," Naomi ordered, her voice carrying the weight of the responsibility she bore. "We fight for our homes, our freedom, and our future. The Empire thinks they can crush us, but they underestimate the strength of those who fight for something greater than themselves. Let's show them what humanity and our allies are capable of." The battle began with a ferocity that shook the very fabric of space. The Imperial ships were powerful, but the Alliance fought with a determination that was unmatched. The Helios led the charge, its weapons blazing as it tore through the enemy lines. The Valtari ships, with their advanced technology, provided crucial support, while the Zenari vessels used their agility to outmaneuver the Empire's forces. The fight was brutal, with losses on both sides, but the Alliance held its ground. Naomi directed her ship with the skill and precision that had earned her reputation, weaving through the chaos and delivering devastating blows to the enemy. As the battle reached its peak, the Imperial flagship, a massive dreadnought, moved into position to deliver a final crippling strike against the Alliance. Naomi knew that if the flagship wasn't stopped, the battle and the war would be lost. "Target the flagship's main weapon. We need to take it out before it can fire," she ordered. The Helios and its allied ships focused their fire on the dreadnought, but its shields were nearly impenetrable. Time was running out, and Naomi knew they needed to act fast. "Reyes, prepare the plasma torpedoes. We're going in close," Naomi commanded, her voice steely with resolve. "Captain, that's suicide," Reyes protested, his eyes wide with shock. "It's our only chance." "Trust me," Naomi replied, her tone leaving no room for argument. The Helios accelerated, dodging enemy fire as it closed the distance to the dreadnought. The Imperial ship loomed ahead, its massive bulk filling the view screen. As they approached, Naomi gave the order. "Fire the torpedoes." The Helios unleashed its payload, the plasma torpedoes streaking toward the dreadnought's main weapon. The impact was immediate and devastating. The dreadnought's weapon system exploded in a blinding flash of light, sending shockwaves through the battlefield. The Imperial flagship was crippled, its shields failing and its systems offline. The Alliance ships seized the opportunity, pouring fire into the vulnerable vessel. With a final, shuddering explosion, the dreadnought was destroyed, its wreckage scattering into the void. The loss of their flagship sent shockwaves through the Imperial fleet. The remaining ships, demoralized and leaderless, began to retreat. The Alliance had won the day. As the battle ended, Naomi allowed herself a moment of relief. They had done it. The Galactic Empire had been dealt a significant blow, and the Alliance had proven that they were a force to be reckoned with. But the war was far from over. The Empire would regroup, and there would be more battles to fight. But for now, they had secured a crucial victory, one that would inspire hope across the galaxy. Naomi stood on the bridge of the Helios, looking out at the stars. The road ahead was still long, but humanity and its allies had shown that they were willing to fight for their freedom. The Galactic Empire had underestimated them, and that would be their downfall. The future was uncertain, but one thing was clear. The galaxy would never be the same. Humanity had taken its place among the stars, and they were here to stay. As the Helios set course for Earth, Naomi allowed herself a small, triumphant smile. The fight was far from over, but they had taken the first step toward a new future. a future where the galaxy would be free from the Empire's tyranny. They would keep fighting until that future became a reality.